Hi everyone, how are you guys doing? I hope that you all are doing fine and I hope you're okay. Hi to you all on the chat. Hi everyone, it's good to see you guys today and I hope that you all had a good day. Alright, so we will continue our chapter which is titles. We did that sometime last week. So first you have to log in using the aplusstudent.com. Alright, so after logging in using the aplusstudent.com, you would click on your name and move on to language art, the grade 3. The chapter's titles, we did the first two already, so we will finish the remaining two lessons, which is formatting titles, formatting and capitalizing titles. Alright, so the title of a book, movie, play, TV show, magazine, newspaper should be underlined for typing or writing. So if you're having a book, you should underline them. All right. For example, when you're typing or writing, okay, so you would have to underline, or if you're writing it in italics, then it is only for title only. So you can have a look at these two examples. All right, the first one is A Midnight Summer Night's Dream. It was underlined, but once it's in italics, it wasn't underlined. So whether it's a book, title, movie, play, TV show, magazine, or newspaper, as long as you're not writing it in italics, then you would have to underline just like this. But if it's in italics, then no need to underline. All right, and then the title of a poem, song, or article should be in quotation mark, just like this. So take notes: poem, song, and then article. They all should be in quotation. No need to underline or write it in italics. Just like "You Are My Sunshine," an article should be in quotation. Okay. Alright, let's look at some example which correctly shows the title of an article. So remember that once it's an article, then it will be in quotation, live on the moon. Okay, just like this. And then which one shows an article also? State of the art. So if it's article, then you have to make it in quotation. Now, which one correctly shows the title of a newspaper? So look at it. Correct title is Tampa Bay Times. All right. So that's it. You just have to make sure that you take note of these. All right. Once you're writing the title of a poem, song, or article, you should put them in quotation mark. And if you're writing the title of a book, movie, play, TV show, magazine, or newspaper, it should be underlined. And if it's in italics, then you do not have to underline it. Look at it over here. This one is underlined because it wasn't in italics. But once it's in italics, then no need to underline. So that is the difference. Poem, song, article in quotation, and then the remaining is underlined. Okay? All right, tell me in the chat if you have any question before we move on to the test. Do you have any question? What is your question? What don't you understand? What is your question? You have to be specific and ask the question so that I can know what you do not understand. So, what is the question specifically? Before we move on to the test, because this is all about titles. And we have said that if it's the title of a book, movie, play, TV show, magazine, or newspaper, you should underline them. Now, if you are not underlining them because they're in italics, then no need to underline. Now, the title of a poem, song, or article should be in quotation mark. So, only three in quotation mark, that is poem, song, or article. Italics is this writing over here, the slanted writing, this one here. This is italics here. This one, look at it here. This is what is italics. It is not the straight up writing, it's the one that the writings are slanted, like TV show, something like this. Okay, just like this one over here. So, yeah, this is italics here. It is stated here. An article is like a writing, okay? It could be like telling you a history about something, and it is called an article. So that is what an article is. It's just like similar to the newspaper, but it's a bit different, okay? So, any other question before we move on? Any other question before we move on to the test? If you have a question, ask before we start the test now. Any other question? All right, good. So, which correctly shows the title of a movie? Mr. Bug Goes to Town, Mr. Bug Goes to Town. So, is it the first or the second? Which one shows the title of a movie? All right, so it is option two. Okay, so option two. All right, so which correctly shows the title of a magazine where it is at, first or second one? So can you tell me? All right, so we have what? Option two. Okay, so the option two. All right, so which correctly shows the title of a poem? The Old Pond. The Old Pond. So is it the first or the second? That is called quotation. Quotation mark is like this. This is quotation mark. You always see it this way. Okay? So for the poem, it will be what? The first one. Remember that the poem has quotation mark, okay? Alright, so which correctly shows the title of a book? Hop on Pop. So which one? So for the book, it is the first one. Remember that the book does not have quotation mark. Only three has quotation mark, which is poem, song, and article. So if it's asking you for a poem or song or article, that is when you have the one with the quotation, which is this. This is the quotation. It's like a bracket, okay? So this one is asking for a newspaper. Tampa Bay Times. So which one shows the correct title for a newspaper? All right, so good. This is option 2 for newspaper. Okay. Now, this one is asking for a play, right? So, aliens at school. So, is it the first or the second? And do you guys still have any question? If you have, you can ask me. All right. All right. The first one is correct. Aliens at school. So this one is asking for an article, live on the moon. So which is the correct one? First to second? All right, for article, we have life on the moon. So, poem Cassie at the Bat. Is it the first or second? So, for the poem, we have the first with the quotation. So, for the book, the elegant but easy cookbook. Is it the first or the second? What is the quotation for? It's just a way to write different titles, okay? Every title has a specific pattern that it follows. That's why for newspaper, book, play, TV show, and the rest, you can underline them when you're writing. But for the poem, song, or article, you have to put quotation. So it's just that every title has a pattern that you need to follow. That is the importance of the quotation mark. So this one is option two. All right. So next up for song, title of a song, 8 days a week. Is it the first or second? Okay, so we have option one. Good job. All right, so this is for a TV show, The Adventures of Chuck and Friends. What is the right one? First to second? TV show is option 2. So we'll move on to the last lesson on the titles. You can ask me any question concerning the one that we just finished. If you have any question, you can ask and I will explain to you. All right, so in a title, you have to capitalize the first word, the last word, and every important word in between. So if you're having a title, you capitalize first, last word, or every important word in the in the title. So the wind in the willows. Now, first word, second, and last. So these are like the important words in the title, so you have to capitalize. James and the giant peach. James, you capitalize. Giant peach, you capitalize because it's an important word in the title. Now, these words are not important in titles. So when we have articles like a and they, short prepositions, and coordinating conjunctions, you do not capitalize them. Okay? So once you have any of this, make sure not to capitalize them because they're not important in a title. So do not capitalize them. All right? And then with the one that we just did, the title of a book, movie, play, TV show, magazine, or newspaper should be underlined. Or if it's in italics, then you do not underline. So just like this, the Midsummer Night's Dream. So this was underlined for book, movie, play, TV show, magazine, newspaper. And then the one in italics, A Midsummer Night's Dream, was not underlined. Okay? And then for the poem, song, or article should be in quotation mark, just like this. So the quotation is just like the bracket. Okay? So let's look at some examples. The song Black or White has an interesting message. So of course, remember that song will be what? In quotation. So remember here. So you have to put the song title in quotation. Which sentence is correct? Kate rushed home to watch the TV show Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. Looking at the sentence, the important words are capitalized. So that's what you need to take note of. If you have any of the preposition or coordinating conjunction or even articles like a and they, then you do not capitalize them. So before we move on to the test, can you say if you have a question and we will answer your questions. Do you guys have any question? Yes or no? So, which of this is correct? Mrs. Hamilton finished reading the book Anne of Green Gables. So, is it the first or the second? Which one is correct? Alright, so option one, good job, which is capitalizing the important words in the sentence. I would like to write a play like Alice in Space. Is it the first or the second one? Which one is correct? So it will be what? The second one, because you have to make sure you capitalize the important words in the sentence. Alice is a name, so you have to capitalize that. So which is correct? It is great to see the movie Mr. Bug Goes to Town outdoors in July. First or second? You have to look in between the line and capitalize the important word. If you omit bug is an important word in the sentence, so it needs to be capitalized because it says Mr. Bug. Okay? I read the article Medicine Search for Morning on the computer. So is it the first or the second? Okay, so we have article and it will be the first one. Okay. So which is correct? The song Black or White has an interesting message. So the first or the second? All right, so this is also the first song, Black or White. All right, which is correct. I was surprised that Beth had never heard of the magazine Oceans of the Mind. So the first to second. All right, so option one. Elizabeth read the newspaper called the New York Times whenever she can. So is it the first or the second? Which one is correct? So the first one, good, because newspaper shouldn't be in quotation. Okay. So which is correct? My neighbor read a book called Going to School in India, first to second. Which is the correct one here? So the first one, going to school in India. All right, can you tell me, do you have any question concerning this lesson? Tell me, please. All right, so since we have no question, we will end now. Have a good evening and see you all next time. Bye.